The world is reeling from the devastating news that beloved British television presenter Ben Shephard is in critical condition. Known for his warmth, humor, and unshakable professionalism, Ben has long been a familiar face on our screens, whether guiding hopeful contestants on Tipping Point, co-hosting This Morning, or bringing gentle levity to our weekday mornings. But now, all that charm and energy has been overshadowed by something far more urgent. What began as whispers among close friends has rapidly evolved into a full-scale medical crisis. And at the heart of it all stands one woman, his wife, Annie Perks, whose unwavering devotion is both inspiring and utterly heartbreaking. This is not just a story about a man in hospital. It's a story about love under siege, about holding on when everything else is falling apart, about the quiet courage of a woman who refuses to leave her husband's side, even as the world watches in silence and sorrow. Ben Shephard has always been more than just a presenter. Yes, he's charming. Yes, he's sharply dressed and has a smile that can brighten even the grayest of mornings. But those who know him, or even just watch him, know that there's something deeper, something quieter, a stillness in the chaos. He listens, he connects, and in an age of endless noise, that made Ben different. Over the years, Ben has built a reputation as the gentlest man in broadcasting. From tearful tributes on GMB to cheeky banter with co-hosts, he has remained an authentic figure, a man who could hold a nation's hand during uncertain times. But even Ben couldn't outrun the fragility of life. Over the past several months, eagle-eyed fans noticed small but unsettling changes. He looked slimmer. His famously steady voice occasionally wavered. His presence, though still warm, had grown a little quieter. Still, no one imagined this. No one expected Ben Shephard, the ever-dependable Ben Shephard, to suddenly disappear from the spotlight, only for reports to emerge days later that he had been rushed to a private London clinic, condition critical. Enter Annie Perks. For those unfamiliar, Annie is not a woman who seeks attention. She's a fiercely private, deeply grounded presence in Ben's life, a pillar of quiet strength long before this crisis began. A successful interior designer by profession, Annie has never chased the limelight, but her influence on Ben has always been profound. They've been together since their university days, decades of shared history, laughter, challenges, and triumphs. Through it all, Annie has been her anchor. And now, as Ben fights for his life, Annie has stepped into a role no one ever wanted her to play, the silent sentinel by his bedside. Sources close to the family have confirmed what many feared. Annie hasn't left Ben's side since he was admitted. She's canceled every appointment, abandoned her own needs, and is living, literally living, within the hospital's private wing to stay close to her husband. Eyewitnesses describe her as composed but heartbroken, always there, always whispering words of encouragement, always clutching Ben's hand, afraid that if she lets go, something precious might slip away forever. As of now, Ben Shephard remains in critical but stable condition. The exact nature of his illness has not been disclosed, a deliberate choice by the family, who have always valued privacy over spectacle. But what we do know is this: his condition took a sudden, terrifying turn just days ago. According to insiders, Ben had been feeling unwell for weeks but continued working. Always the consummate professional, he shrugged off early symptoms, attributing his fatigue to long filming days and the pressures of live television. But then came the collapse. An emergency call, a rush to a discreet London facility known for its advanced care and absolute confidentiality, and a long, harrowing night that ended with Ben admitted into intensive care. Doctors have since run exhaustive tests. Specialists have been flown in. Every possible intervention is being pursued, but it's clear this is not a simple recovery. This is a fight, one that Ben must now face with every ounce of strength he has left. And beside him, Annie, a woman breaking slowly but loving fiercely. In times of crisis, love reveals its true form. It stops being about candlelit dinners and romantic holidays. It becomes about presence, about showing up again and again when things are at their worst. That's what Annie is doing. Staff members have spoken under condition of anonymity about her quiet determination, her refusal to leave even when urged to rest. One nurse reportedly found her asleep in a chair, still holding Ben's hand, murmuring softly in her sleep. "She hasn't cried in front of him," said one doctor, "but we've seen her behind closed doors. This is breaking her, but she's decided if she has to break, she'll break here, with him." Friends of the couple describe Annie as remarkably composed. She consults with doctors daily. She reviews charts. She takes notes. She's not a bystander. She's part of the fight. But it's her emotional presence that's leaving the deepest impression. "She looks at him," one friend said, "as if she's trying to will him back to her, as if her love alone could reverse whatever is happening in his body." The Shephards are a private family. Their 2 sons, now in their late teens, have been kept far from the cameras for most of their lives. It's a choice Ben and Annie made early on. Protect the boys, give them a childhood untouched by fame. But now even that sanctuary has been pierced. The 2 boys have reportedly visited their father briefly, escorted in and out with utmost discretion. One witness described a moment too fragile to forget. Both sons sitting quietly by their father's bed, one holding his hand, the other resting his head on Annie's shoulder. They looked shattered, like boys who were suddenly made aware that even dads can fall. Annie, sources say, is doing everything she can to shield them. But even she cannot stop the waves of fear that come in the quiet hours when machines beep softly and hope feels like a distant prayer. While the family battles in silence, the nation is beginning to speak. Social media is awash with tributes, prayers, and heartfelt memories. The hashtag #PrayForBen is trending across the UK, with fans sharing photos, stories, and clips of Ben's most touching TV moments. They remember his kindness on Tipping Point, how he comforted nervous contestants or celebrated their small victories with genuine joy. They remember his professionalism on Good Morning Britain, how he managed to ask hard questions with soft eyes. They remember the man who always made mornings easier. Now, candlelight vigils are being organized in Manchester, London, and even Cardiff. Messages are pouring in from co-stars, athletes, former guests, and even political figures. And though Ben cannot respond, we hope he hears them. Despite the uncertainty, those close to Ben remain hopeful. Doctors report that he is responding to some treatments, that his body, though weakened, is not surrendering. "He's a fighter," said one consultant, "quiet, determined, just like he is on television. He doesn't make a fuss, but he doesn't give in." And then there's Annie, his greatest source of strength. In many ways, she's become an extension of the medical team, not because she's administering drugs or conducting tests, but because she's doing what no machine can do. She's loving him through this. and love in its truest form is medicinal. Those close to the family say Annie speaks to Ben every day. She tells him about the boys, about the garden he promised to finish this autumn, about the contestants on Tipping Point who keep asking if he'll be back. She tells him about the flowers, the prayers, the endless tide of hope rising from strangers who just want him to come home. If he wakes, she said privately, he'll have no idea how loved he is. But we think Ben already knows, because love like Annie's can be felt through the fog, through the pain, through the heavy medicated silence. So here we are, a nation holding its breath, a family clinging to hope, a wife refusing to leave, and a man